Fellas, AC here. Welcome to another video. This time is the 2020 Autumn Designer Fragrances list. This will be a long video because I'm going to cover a lot of stuff. I'll give you a lot of value out of this video. So brace yourself and enjoy. So, autumn. Autumn is a good time to enjoy complex fragrances because it's neither too hot, not too cold. Sometimes it rains, sometimes it doesn't. It's a dry weather. It encourages you to try fragrances which have heavy notes. Although winter, you can argue, is a better choice, but I think autumn brings out the best out of many notes. So I've got a list of notes that I think are absolutely amazing for autumn. So I'll give you that first and then we'll get to the designer list, yeah? So what are the great notes? Now, the first one that I think is a great note is olibanum. Now these are thanks to my dear friend Rohit. He sends me just amazing stuff. I've been able to expand my channel because of his amazing contribution. So he not only sends me hundreds of samples, he also sends me raw materials. Now olibanum, when I first smelled olibanum, I immediately could identify the fragrances where the olibanum is exactly how it should be. And this note is an amazing, bracing, smoky, lemony note with a lot of depth to it. It's a spiritual kind of note because olibanum is associated with religious places. In fact, I've done a video of top 15 incense-based fragrances where olibanum featured. But this note in itself, from the color, you can see this is the color of autumn, right? This note itself will tell you that olibanum is an amazing note. Once you smell it, it's an amazing note for autumn. Other good notes for autumn are, what's this one? This is benzoin. Now benzoin is a confused note because a lot of fragrances use benzoin to replace vanilla or augment vanilla. It's a very spongy vanilla-like note. But if you smell benzoin on its own, you'll realize this has got a beautiful ambery floral facet, which is very obvious in one fragrance that I'll show you. So benzoin is another beautiful note. The other note is not everybody's favorite. It is oak moss. Now this is how oak moss looks like. This is basically a note which is used amazingly well in vintage fragrances, and some recent fragrances have started using oak moss in a different way. When I smelled oak moss, that's the first time I realized that oak moss has this foresty, fizzy smell, but it also has this beautiful, deep, rich, lemony aspect, fizzy, lemony aspect, as if juniper berry is being used here. So oak moss, you really should try a proper oak moss fragrance for you to enjoy it. I mean, just the classics. Okay, another few notes I would like to talk about. Which one is this? This is labdanum. Amazing, amazing note for autumn. Labdanum has this resinous, lemony depth to itself with a leathery texture. This labdanum, I mean, you can see how thick labdanum is. It's not even flowing. Labdanum is an amazing note. For autumn, the other one would be, this is my favorite note. This is ambergris. And ambergris, when you smell real ambergris, proper white ambergris, well, for starters, this is insanely expensive. But when you smell it, you feel as if you're in heaven and you're meeting God. And just all the nicest things that you can imagine, that's what happens when you smell ambergris. There are tons of ambergris fragrances, but the big ones that come to mind is can't remember the name. It's a Dior. And I'll feature it in my niche list, but ambergris is unbeatable in autumn. The other notes which are not everybody's favorite, this is castoreum. Castoreum has this animalic, fruity, lemony depth, and you will find it in very expensive fragrances. Castoreum is, I think it smells the best in autumn. That's all really. Okay. Who can forget? Myrrh. Myrrh is just cut out for autumn. You smell myrrh. It's like the experience I had with ambergris. Myrrh is unbeatable for autumn. And obviously two staples, sandalwood. Who can beat sandalwood, Wow. you know, smell white sandalwood. It's just absolutely divine. You know, similar experience as Gaiakwood. Gaiakwood is another amazing note. Oud. Oud is a fabulous note, depends on how it's been used, but these are the notes that I think are great for autumn. I've covered the notes, that's why I said the video will be a little longer. And thank you, Rohit, for sending me these raw materials. They are absolutely amazing. Now, based on those, you might remember a long time ago I did a video on how to grow your collection, and in that I mentioned that you should smell fragrances, sample them, and if you like, then you should grade them and put in a box, you know, most liked this time. This is what my autumn to-do list, to-buy list looks like. And yeah, there's some amazing fragrances here. There's Patchouli Imperial. I can see this is a little bit out of control, but Arabian Wood by Tom Ford. This is my autumn to buy list. Just wanted to share. I actually practice what I preach, and this is not the only one. There's another packet there which contains niche rare fragrances which I want to buy, but I don't know how many I'll end up buying, but that's what I wanted to share. This is how I do things. Now let's get to oh, actually, before I get to the list, an act of generosity by one of my subscribers. Just wanted to mention, you know, his name is Rich. He was very kind to send me some absolutely rare, hard to find vintage fragrances, you know. And Rich, I was really touched by your kind, you know, gesture. It's just amazing. There are 11 of these fragrances like Balenciaga Purhomme, Guerlain Coriolan, Guerlain Samsar, which I actually happen to have. And a beautiful little card says, look forward to hearing what you make of these scents. Please forgive the handwriting. It's a perfect handwriting. You guessed, you know, it's just lovely. Clear, crystal clear. I have the deepest respect for you. Thank you, buddy. And your channel. It's been a pleasure watching you grow these past years. It's a lovely touch. I was really touched by what Richard did for me. His name is Rich Mitch. You'll see him in the comments. He's very regular on my channel, and I'm really looking forward to sampling these, buddy. I'll do a few reviews on this. It really made my Saturday. Thank you. And there's a mystery box all the way from UAE, and this is a house that has got me jumping up and down. And this, when I mean it's a box, it's a box. It's a box absolutely full to the rafters with fragrances. And this is a house called My Perfumes Select. It's a UAE house. I don't know much about it, but I'll do a full feature on this. I tell you what, I smelt an oud fragrance called Oud Al-Lail, and I can't understand why our Western fragrance houses are unable to do masculine oud fragrances like this. I was absolutely floored by the depth, by the complexity, and it's a budget fragrance. So I'll do a full feature on this house anyway, but I just wanted to mention that it's been a week of amazing you know, gestures by people. They've sent me their niche line, you know. This is half of their niche line, and they've sent me a box which contains basically the entire niche offerings. Just look at that. Yeah. And every single one of these is at least an 8 out of 10. Absolutely amazing house. You guys should be looking forward to this video because it will be a very exciting video. I'll do it very soon. I just wanted to mention it because this week has been one amazing gesture after the other. And in hard times, you know, like COVID-19 going around the world, when you find these things happening in your life, you're just very touched. It really brings in the real human touch, you know, of human beings are amazing. You know, they can be absolutely amazing. And look at that, out of nowhere. Wasn't expecting it. They had asked me for my details long time ago, and I had given them my details, and suddenly it arrived. And every single fragrance in that box is a gem. So let's start this list. I'm sorry, we're already 10 minutes into the video, but I hope you don't mind because I've given you a bit of stuff in this video. So number one, I'm going to start this list by mentioning fragrances that are bona fide autumn fragrances. Yeah. So the number one fragrance, and every single fragrance bar one has been reviewed by myself, and I'll mention that when I come to that fragrance, which one hasn't been reviewed. So I'll start with the bona fide autumn fragrance. The moment you smell it, you smell autumn, and it's very celebratory in tone. It's an oriental, and it is by Boucheron, and this is Jaipur Puram. And I tell you what, this fragrance, the moment you smell it, this is what autumn smells like. This is basically a very lush, rich, opulent cinnamon, benzoin, tonka, and carnation and lemon-based fragrance. It basically starts very lemony, and then the magic happens. And when the magic happens, you feel wow. And they should be given a medal for making a fragrance as wonderful as this and still marketing it at an affordable price. You know, this sort of complexity, depth, range, and just the experience, the olfactive experience is just impossible. I think you can get it for £35 for 100 ml. Yeah, so they should be given a medal for making such amazing fragrances on budget. Yeah, Jaipur Puram, absolute exceptional autumn fragrance for men. Next one used to be very affordable, but it's become so hard to find. It's now pointless trying to acquire it because it's like selling for 5 times the price it used to sell for. This is Eau de Beau by L'Occitane. This is French perfumery for men at its very best. The moment you smell this fragrance, you realize you're smelling a great example of French perfumery. It's basically herbal, spicy vanilla. So what is the herb? It is cypress, green, deep, rich, like nature. What are the spices? I think they've used pepper, cardamom, if I'm not mistaken, but I can't remember the exact notes. I've done a full review anyways. And then vanilla. This is rich, this is spicy, this is autumn. This is fresh, spicy freshness. This is bracing. The vanilla braces you. That sort of rich, deep fragrance. Outstanding masculine. Try it out if you can get hold of it and if you can afford it. I've seen it for 150 on eBay. A ridiculous price because it's so hard to get a hold of now. This house is just a very special house. I've got a few from this house and I've loved every single one of them, bar one, which I sold. Next on my list is again a quintessential autumn fragrance. I've recently reviewed it. It's a Guerlain and it is Guerlain Ideal EDT. Again, affordable fragrance. You can get it. It's a very high quality designer and get it for £45-50 for 100 ml. And it's basically floral, rich almond with a texture which changes later on towards vanilla, leather, with freshness of vetiver. It's an outstanding masculine, very, very well made and very unique. The entire Ideal line is centered around bitter orange or bitter oranginess and almond and woody notes. Fabulous, fabulous fragrance. Daytime, evening time. It's very versatile, very well made, and it just is attractive to the core. So 3 done. Fourth one is a fragrance which is a budget fragrance. It's very synthetic, but it smells amazing because it has 2 very clever notes that go very well in autumn. The fragrance is Zadig and Voltaire. This is him, and it's basically an incense and vanilla joy, and it's very strong. This thing is seriously strong and synthetic. You should wait for the dry down because the dry down is spectacular. It's smoky vanilla with woody quality. It's really dark and very, very handsome. Yeah, when you smell it and look at the bottle, you think it's an evening scent. It's actually very versatile. On a cold autumn day, this will really, really give you that bracing effect, that comforting effect, and that's what you want in a fragrance when you live in a cold country. That's what you want when it's windy. It's really windy in autumn. So Zadig and Voltaire, this is him. I reviewed it last year and got a lot of positive attention from everybody. Amazing fragrance. Try it out. Next one is a fragrance which is very versatile and very fit for autumn, and I've recently reviewed it. It's Hermes, Terre de Hermes Eau Intense Vetiver. This is again a synthetic vetiver. Orange and Vetiver. Amazing. Really one of the staple fragrances that you must have in your collection. If you're wearing a jeans and t-shirt, put on a jacket and a scarf and you want to go out during daytime, just doing your chore, you want something which is light, refreshing, yet bracing and modern. You should really look into this fragrance. Very well made. I really enjoyed it. And it's a recent review. I think my last review was this one. So, Eau Intense Vetiver, Terre d'Hermes, fantastic fragrance. Very rarely I feature two Hermes in a list. This time, this is the second Hermes, and this one is a masterpiece. Bellamy Vetiver. Now, this fragrance is one of my fragrances. This is one of those fragrances that is one. It'll always be in my list, you know, in my top 10. It's leather. It's got castoreum or civet, and it's got the depth. You know, it's got this classical French men's fragrance depth, and then it has this beautiful vetiver, so bright, and then there's a note of or feeling of resinous dry fruits, autumn, made for each other. Just try it. If you get your hands on Bellamy Vetiver, get it, because this is one of the very unique leather vetiver fragrances you can lay your hands on. It's absolutely stunning. It smells amazing daytime. It smells amazing evening time. Just wear it well. Stunner. Absolute stunner. I think I gave it a 9 out of 10 when I reviewed it. It's my personal favorite. One of my favorites, you know. And it's very stylish and sexy, you see. So, next on my list is a fragrance that I haven't reviewed yet. But it's one of the finest vanilla fragrances in the designer range. Yeah, and it's from a house I talk about very little. It is Givenchy Gentleman. So it's Gentleman Givenchy, because Givenchy Gentleman is the old, well-known fragrance from the 1970s. So this one is reversed. Gentleman Givenchy, and this is Parfum or Eau de Parfum. There's another new version which has come out, which is called Boisé. I haven't smelled that one. This is vanilla. This is the foodie sweet vanilla. And it's been coupled with a stunning note of Tolu balsam. Very rarely used, hence it smells very unique. And there are many other notes in this fragrance. This is compared to Dior Homme Intense and Valentino Uomo. I don't see the similarities because there's a heavy dose of orris root here. And orris root is confused with iris. Orris root is buttery. And I think it's very different, very unique. Yeah, emphasis here is on vanilla. Remember that. This is a very, very nice romantic fragrance, yeah, and it's very young smelling. It's buttery. It's this for the youth, and if you're in the dating game, and if you like comforting, full-on experience, then go for it. If you're a vanilla lover, you're gonna love this, because vanilla here is foodie. Yeah, it's not as rich and diverse as a Guerlain vanilla, but this vanilla is joyful. It's really a very happy, bracing sort of a fragrance. Well, next on my list, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 3 to come. Next on my list is an absolute brilliant example of English style cologne. It's a cologne, but it's got the strength of an EDP. It's a fragrance that I reviewed long time ago. It is Geo F. Trumper Sandalwood Cologne. Don't be fooled by the word cologne. This is very strong, and you can still get it for affordable prices. 50 ml, 35 to 40 pounds. If you like fragrances like Chanel's Egoiste and Serge Lutton's Bois, Famille de Bois. Now, this is basically a mix of those two fragrances. It has a woody, bright sandalwood, floral sandalwood with an aqueous, sort of aquatic geranium. This is a gem of a fragrance. It's been made to perfection, and it's very English in nature and style. Like L'Occitane's Eau de Bois, that's very French. This one's very English and spectacularly executed. You should try this fragrance, yeah? And you can wear this to an interview, to office, daytime. Daytime is the best time to wear this. It smells outstanding. It's an outstanding fragrance. The next one on my list is basically a fragrance which has been crafted to get you compliments. It's basically a rocker's fragrance. It's stylish. It's when you wear it, you feel modern. You feel you're ready to receive all the compliments and the attention you're about to get. It's just a glamorous fragrance. And it is Bleu de Chanel Parfum This fragrance, I don't like blue scents, but there are two I like, and I've reviewed both of them. This and Dior Sauvage Parfum. They've been made for stylish, middle-aged, fantastically well-dressed men. Wow, this is such, the moment you smell it, you're smelling a niche quality designer immediately. It's a blue fragrance, and it's got this fantastic olibanum note as well. And there's LMA resin, and I think there's sandalwood as well, can't remember. It's a blue scent, right? And Roxanne centric, but it's been made to perfection. I've done a full review, you can check it out. But if you're trying to get into the vibe of the celebratory, stylish man, you really need to have this in your collection. Fantastic and ideal for autumn. Really well made. The last one on my list is an eternal favorite of mine. When it comes to autumn, I love to wear it on a sunny, crisp autumn day. It's a masterpiece of a fragrance. It's a Guerlain. It's L'Instant de Guerlain. This is again one of those, multi-layered, complex, outstanding fragrance. Outstanding. This is spicy, chocolatey, lemony, patchouli. Patchouli is the star of the show, but the way it's been made, it's just superb execution. It's been made to delight you. Try it out. I've done a full review. I call it the last of the great Guerlain. After this, Guerlain stopped doing, complex multi-layered fragrances in the designer category, but they're coming back. I'm soon going to review a fragrance which will delight you. And it's a, later release, but I tell you what, this fragrance, you absolutely must try. And if you try it, and if you like it, thank me later. This is a stunning, stunning fragrance for a warm autumn day. Hope you enjoyed this video, fellas, because this is a long one. So thanks for sticking around. If you did enjoy it, give it a like. Take care. Bye-bye.